I continue my attempt to explain what I have understood about the phenomenology of spirit, and we're in the preface, and I'll comment with my terrible English what I understand. He says that the substance, the one being, if you will, mediates itself with itself, and a mediation is that which is opposed to what is immediate. So it reflects. Mediation and reflection are identical for Hegel, so that's why the substance reflects itself into itself, and that's why we can say that man is a mirror of nature, and that the world is the mirror of God, because the mirror is the reflection. And then he talks about well, the seriousness, the pain, the patience, and the work of the negative. And in 2019, I made videos in which I claimed that I was what Hegel called the negative, which means the dissociation of the individual self from the substance. And yeah, and the substance, being, the world, the universe, nature, whatever is, must reestablish identity to itself, unity with itself. Man is separated from the world, is separated from God, and the process consists in God becoming conscious of himself through man's consciousness of nature, and this this freeway process, this Trinitarian process, is logic, nature, spirit. Logic is God in the abstract, nature is God in the realm of time and space, and spirit is God within man as a thinking entity. And the free logic, nature, spirit must be brought back together into unity, and that is the true God of the Trinity, the true God. So Hegel talks about an identity to self which must reconstruct itself. It is the world spirit which must rebuild itself because it has been broken, and he must re-establish his own self-identity to self by encompassing and comprising and comprehending the totality of being within itself. And the purpose is the self-contemplation of the divine. So God must contemplate himself, that's what he wants. And in order for that to be made effective, mankind must contemplate God, but not as separate from God. Mankind must acquire its own consciousness of being God, contemplating itself, and that's what Hegel calls the cultus, that which comes from culture, but also the religious cult. Mankind must acquire the consciousness of God, and God must acquire the consciousness of mankind in a process of coming into unity, and that's religion. And he says the truth is the whole. The truth is the totality, developing itself and coming back into itself, and the totality, the whole, is that which is true, and everything which is separate from the whole is not true in a way. So I myself, as a thinking individual, separated from the whole, I am not truly real in Hegel's term. So the essence achieves itself, perfects itself, completes itself through its development, and that is the whole process of the world spirit coming into consciousness of itself. And he says that the beginning of the process is just the universal, it's purely abstract. When you say nothing is the principle of all things, or being, pure being is the principle of all things. When you say being, pure being is nothing. There is nothing in it to think, see, contemplate, whatever. There's nothing. So when you say being is nothing, you introduce a predicate, you differentiate being from itself, and you turn it into its opposite. And if you say nothing is nothing. You introduce being within nothing by qualifying nothing. You say that nothing is nothing, so it is its own negation. So when you predicate something, when you make a proposition, there is, in Hegel's term, a becoming other. The subject becomes another to itself. That's the judgment. When you judge, is when you predicate, you attach a universal determination to a particular or a singular subject. And yeah, and he says that the embryo, for instance, is man in itself, but not yet man for himself. The real man is the man who has grown up and elevated himself to consciousness of himself as a rational thinking, as self-consciousness. And the seed is not the tree, and the principle of being is not the absolute, which has made itself, which has developed, grown, and progressed to arrive at an absolute self-consciousness of itself. And yeah, that's it for now.